Hey guys, Brent Hull, Wednesday design video. What's the difference between a 1x4 and a 1x6? I'm going to show you and why it matters so much. Okay, so this is a traditional house, and what you're looking at is the difference between the two sides that I've drawn up here and fixing this. I'm going to basically work on three things here, and the main thing that I want to show is look at this side of the picture and then look at this side. This side has a 1x4 on it, okay, surrounding the windows, as them all do, and then this one I've increased it to about a 1x6 or 1x8. Look what the difference it does to those windows and how it changes the complexion, the strength, the ability of that window to make sense. And I've kind of drawn it in here, but we are needing a little bit of, there's a big gap in between these windows. And so I'm playing with those with them shutters that I'm adding and showing there. I think, there are houses that have been designed for shutters because of that spacing and because of that, the distance between the windows, the shutters really help. Other windows that get placed too close together, the shutters can actually clang and they actually hit each other. So there are houses that need shutters to look better. And I think the upstairs would help. I'm thinking that downstairs, if we could just increase the size of that casing on the outside of those windows, it really could make a big difference. And you'll notice I've added a little cross-headed corner at the top there. But here's the difference. Look at this, okay? This is a 1x4, okay? This is a 1x6. Now realize that when it says 1x4, it's not 1 inch by 4 inches. It was when it's milled from the tree, but by the time it gets planed down and cleaned up and everything looks smooth on all sides, it's actually 3/4 of an inch by 3.5 inches. So to use a 1x4 on a huge window like this makes that window look small. If we used a 1x6, right, which is also not a true 6 inches, this is 3/4 by 5.5 inches. But you really need this heft and this kind of size on this kind of Neo-Greek Revival house to kind of feel that weight. So what I'm really showing is if we can take off that 1x4, add a 1x6, do some cross-headed corners, really build out that window, we can strengthen that. And that whole bottom section there begins to look stronger. I'm then recommending shutters on the top to kind of break up that dimension right there. And I'll show you, some people might say that my gutter is going to get in the way of the shutters here, but there's my 1x4, let's say, there's the siding comes into it. My window's back here, okay? Let's say my sash is back here. My shutter is going to sit right here, okay? And so by the time I mount my hardware right to this, okay, and it comes onto there and it's mounted there, by the time that, and let's just say that gutter, is right here, okay? By the time this swings around, yes, we will be on a slight angle, but I would argue that little cant, okay, that little, kick out is actually going to help your shadow lines. It's actually going to give it more depth there. And that's the reason why I always like to encourage people to use real shutters with real working hardware, because there's a depth and there's a shadow line that happens that gives your house oomph, okay, gives your house kind of better appeal. It copies an historic precedent, and we look at those historic houses and we go, I wonder why I like it so much. It's all these little things that help it and make it look better. So the last thing I'm doing is I'm fixing the portico here, okay? Basically right now, here's what we've got. We've got kind of a mini entablature here. I've got my architrave, which is that first level, then it kicks up to a bigger level. So basically there's two steps. There's the architrave and then there's this frieze. And what I'm going to encourage is that we actually, and I got this because I was traveling and I looked at the Stuart Lee house in Richmond, Virginia, and they have a beautiful Greek Revival portico. And I was looking at it going, why is that successful? Why does it look so good? And what they do is they actually have one level architrave, two level frieze, and then there's a bed mold and it kicks up and there's a little cornice, okay? So you'll see that that's what I've drawn in here, right? I've kicked it up another level and I've added that other piece. And in this one, I've actually added a little temple top to it to improve it and to strengthen it. But we can't just have two pieces. That's why the three pieces that are in tablature are really important, because it then builds everything up and it gives it the proper scale and perspective we need, you know, to make it look right, right? You have in your brain this nostalgic, this understanding of the past, and you've seen it before, you've seen it look right, and you look at these and you go, something's not right. And when then you see it right, you go, ah, there it is. And so, but sometimes those details are hard to figure out. But really on this house, I'm really only fixing a few things. One, I don't think, you know, this difference between the 1x4 and the 1x6 is huge, right? It's only 2 inches, right? It's 3.5 inches to 5.5 inches. 2 inches. It shouldn't make that big difference, but it does. Look how small and diminutive that window is, and how it isn't successful, and that we increase the size of that casing and it really improves it. This is dramatic as well, right? Kind of simple and plain, adds a little bit more oomph to it. So, you know, a few little things, right? And on this portico, you'll see that I did do a back pilaster against the house. You'll see the same thing on the Stuart Lee house. There's a back pilaster. What does that do? That gives this visual strength that looks supported on the back side of the portico. It's a small thing, but it really does make a difference. So 3 things that we did on this house: increase the size of the casing, fix the portico, add a pilaster, and this house is a lot better. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm Brent Hull. Thanks for watching.